Good morning, this is Aunt Beth. Welcome to my lamppost. This morning I want to talk to you about the real Tomorrow War, based off some seed thoughts from the movie, The Tomorrow War. Did you know that we are in a tomorrow war? Most folks just don't know it yet. So, in summary, for those of you who have not seen the movie, I just saw it last night. It's based on the idea that people from the future come back in time and ask help for people in current day because they're losing a war. And the survival of the human race is at stake. So they have a lab quality wormhole that they've rigged up in order to get people back and forth, and people have to only sign up for a week at a clip. But the enemy is very fierce, and they're losing, and they need help. And so people go, they are so unprepared for the reality of what the future children, grandchildren are facing, that there's only a 30% survival rate. They come back pretty mentally shattered. But not to give spoilers, there is hope. And there is a battle, and hope wins at the end, because they refused to accept the narrative that they were going to lose, that all was lost. But when Earth believed that all was lost, they started rioting and burning because there was no hope. And man, that's so much like today, isn't it? We know the future through the book of Revelation. There is a long, hard, tough battle ahead of us. But we can't wait until the starting gun. We have to fight it now. And the reason that they won in the movie is because they dealt with the root cause that had blossomed in the end times. And hope was restored. There were people with no hope rioting and burning down. And the fighters, the true warriors, were looking for a way through, a way to win. And I want you to see the allegory here to the battle that we're in today. People with no hope are going to be burning things down. Fighters, warriors, which is who I believe God has called you and me to be, if you're listening to this, are looking for a way through. What's ahead of us? We have a general perspective from snippets from the Old Testament as well as the book of Revelation and Jesus' comments in Matthew. But I want to say something to you. The real battle was in the mind. People had to decide to win or decide to give up. And when they gave up, there was a lot of emotional backlash, and there you go. But I believe that God has called us to be warriors, to be winners. Not necessarily in the traditional sense with guns and knives and things like that. But there is a spiritual battle ahead of us, and it's going to manifest in the physical. But your mental preparation is really important. Don't be deceived. You won't have time to get ready when it's time to be ready. So, and don't be dismayed or in fear when you read the book of Revelation. You know, the center section, there's like 3 or 4 chapters that say what's coming. this is a way for you to get mentally prepared and decide to stand. When I was praying about this whole situation this morning, and also for you all, I felt like the Lord spoke to me about the coming up on the various decision points that we have ahead of us. There's some watershed moments, and I tend to jump ahead. But I want to share it with you. It's what I believe the Lord spoke to me, but if it blesses you, that's fabulous. So here we go. I'm just going to read it because I wrote it out this morning in my quiet time. Would you appreciate the journey as much if it were easy? This next time, I love the confidence, and yes, move decisively, but check in with me. Keep your eye on me. Things change rapidly in the natural. Life is not a straight, peaceful river where one set position will take you from beginning to end. I have not changed, but you are moving through a pinball life where the path forward is not a straight shot. The more complex the path, the more we need to be in constant communication. This is not because I don't trust you, but because I do trust you with a more difficult path. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. The more the enemy will set traps for you or the affairs of life. This obstacle course for a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret is much more difficult than for a 5th grader, but they are equally tough for the person at that time. I need Navy SEALs, Green Berets, and Army Rangers for the days ahead. This is a volunteer army. Choose me. Choose the hard path for a life worth living. So I hope that this encourages you. If you're in a tough place right now, you're in training so that you will win in the days ahead. So, have a fabulous day. All God's best.